No, not on this one. All right. I'll go ahead and cover that one. Okay, so let me cover number one real quick. So let me drag this over. Can everyone see my whiteboard?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anytime you have a problem that talks about investments or interest or banks or savings or checking, this is what you're going to do. All right. The P stands for principal. It's the amount of money you're starting with. All right. Let's see. Let me go back.
Wait,
It's
imagine missing a zero on 5,500.
oh, thank you. Yep. So it's the amount of money you're starting with. The rate talks about the interest rate in a decimal form, and then the T will talk about time. All right, which in this case is 3 years. So let me. So our principal is 5, and the question was. Give me a second. The question was: a woman invests $5,000 in an account that earns 5.25% simple interest. If the money is invested for 3 years, how much money is in the account after 3 years? So we got to figure out, okay, from when she started 3 years ago, how much money does she have total now? So 5,000 is what she started with. And then this, the 5,000 times the 0.0525 times 3, and I know it just disappeared. So this is what she started with, and we have to multiply the interest rate that we got from the percentage, all right, and we divided this by 100, because remember, percents means over 100, so 5.25 divided by 100 would get us this, or 1,000, all right? And then the 3 represents the time. So we did 5,000, because that's the amount of money we started with, times the interest rate, which was our decimal, times 3. Any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay.
Wait, but why you put 5,000 plus 5,000?
Because so this is what we started with, right?
Uh-huh.
This is going to be how much money we earned in interest, how much the money we earned by putting it in the bank.
Okay.
In order to discover this, we are going to multiply by how much we started with. And since the question had asked how much money is in the account after 3 years, that includes the amount of money we started with.
Oh, okay.
Yep. If it had asked how much interest you earned after 3 years, we would just do this. But because it asked how much money is total, not only do we have to figure out how much money we've made, we have to add that to what we started with.
Okay.
So when you do 5,000 times 0.0525 times 3, that will give us $787.50. So we made a lot of money in the bank after 3 years. And we add that to what we started with, which was $5,000. So when we add these two together, so that's what we started with, that's how much money we made after 3 years. And this is the total amount that's in our bank account or in our savings account. All right.
I have a question. So when I went on my calculator and I put like 5,000 times 0.0525 and times it 3, I got 7,875. And you put a decimal because.
So we put a decimal. You guys remember percent means over 1,000.
Okay.
All right. And and even if you put it in a calculator as a percent, it's always going to treat it as a decimal when it does the math calculations in the calculator.
Alrighty.
But what I was doing is I was showing you if you say your calculator freaked out and you were curious about something, you won't be able to divide by the percent, otherwise it'll freak out your stuff on paper. So you've got to convert it to a decimal. Now, I don't expect you ladies to do this by hand, but just in case, if you were curious one day and you did want to use your calculator. But also you got to figure out how you're going to input it into your calculator to begin with. All right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to erase that, but it'll be saved in the recording. All right, and then for spell work number 2, it asks us how many liters of a 40% antifreeze solution must be added to 4 liters of a 10% antifreeze solution to produce a 35% antifreeze solution. All right. Okay, so let me. So the number of liters that we have, all right. So I'm going to make a little table to organize all of our information real quick. I'll try to scoot him up.
Do it make the table, mister?
Yeah, it might help.
Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. I gotta move some stuff around real quick. You get moved up there. You get moved there.
I just texted lady to get on.
Oh, there she is. I'm going to need my second whiteboard. Oh, Lord. Okay. So for this particular one, all right, I did a table to help organize all the information that we have. And the question was, let me do this. Okay, there it goes. And the question was, how many liters of a 40% antifreeze solution must be added to 4 liters of a 10% antifreeze solution to produce a 35% antifreeze solution? All right. So how many liters of the 10% do we have? So how many liters do we have right now? There we go. Dang it.
4.
4. So we know we have 4 of that, and we're looking for this one, right?
40, yeah.
So we have this, we're looking for this, and for the 35%, we will be doing this. Okay? Because it's asking us from the 40% and the 10%, when we combine them, we'll get 35%. We know 10%. We don't know 40 yet. So it'll be x plus 4. And then for number of liters of the pure antifreeze, all right, it's going to be this, all right, 0.4. So all of this will be used off numbers from the top. So we know down the road, all right, so 40%, 0.4 multiplied by how many liters we'll have.
Right, Mercy, you divide that by 40 by 100?
Yep. So essentially what we're doing now is we're taking the percentage and multiplying by x, and that'll be this box. So we'll do 10% times 4. And we're not looking for an answer yet. We're just looking for this. We're looking for a math equation right now. So 0.4 times x, because 0.4 represents our 40% solution, times whatever amount of liters we're going to have. 0.1 is our 10% solution times the amount of liters that we'll have, which is 4. And then 0.35, because that's what we're trying to get to, times x plus 4. Imagine that 0.35 being next to x plus 4. I just ran out of room. Okay. So what we'll end up doing is adding this to this and setting it equal to that. So let me get the big whiteboard over here. I'll keep him unerased. Move my mouse. All right. So that's our table to help organize our stuff. So we're going to use 0.4x. Because that represents our 40% solution. All right, because we got to figure out how much we've got to mix in. All right, 10% is 0.1 times 4, or 0.4. And remember, we're adding those two together. So we're adding the 40% to the 10%. And then we're setting it equal to the 35% solution. So this will be our leaders for the 40%. This will be the leaders for the 10%, and this will be the leaders for the 35%. So what's the first thing we've got to do?
Distribute,
Distribute.
I think. Yeah.
Where's my calculator?
Hay que aprenderte la teoría. Este es el secreto de la matemática y de todo lo que tú hagas.
And then there it goes. And then if the calculator will come through, I don't think it's going to come through right now, but that's saying, oh, there you go. So 0.35 times 4 gives us 1.4. Plus 0.35x. Okay. So what's the next thing we got to do?
You have to subtract 0.35x to 0.4x, right?
Yep. If I can write the right numbers. That will give us 0.05x, and we'll kick the 0.4 over to the right side. So I'll go ahead and do everything else at the same time because I'm running out of space on my board. And what's the next thing we'll do?
Divide by 0.05x.
And when we do that, that will give us 20. So how many liters of the 40% do we have to mix in with the 10%?
0.05.
Not 0.05, 20.
Oh, 20.
Yep. Doot. All right.
Mister, is that a 0.20? I can't really see because the light.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's x equals. Okay.
Yep. Apparently the light is just not going to cooperate.